We grew up on mixtapes and neon lights.
Hey there, everybody.
Dreamed
We are the
of a world
GlobeTrotting
in a
Trio.
bed.
My name is Amy,
I'm Shelley.
Hello, I'm Tammy.
and we are going to talk to you about travel tips today. I will tell you, we all have our favorite ones, but Shelley, tell me what your favorite travel tip is.
Make sure you make copies of your passports. I always say to make two. Like my husband and I always make two copies. We tell our kids, make two copies when you're leaving the country. Take one copy with you, leave one copy at home. That way, if you lose it, if it becomes damaged, like you have proof of your passport. And then also your loved ones at home have a copy. If there's an emergency, they need to get in contact with you. You just never know what's going to happen. So just be prepared.
I love it.
Plan
Now,
for the
let me ask you,
unexpected, right?
because I keep a copy of mine on my phone in a secure
Yep,
folder. Is that something that you guys do as well?
absolutely. But the key right there, Amy, you said secure, right? You want to make sure that it is secure. And if that's an issue, if you don't know how to do it, if you can't figure it out, maybe you still have a flip phone, like then don't worry about it. But yes, if you can keep it secure, absolutely.
I like it. Flip phone. All right.
I
No,
love that flip phone. Like,
no,
what?
no.
My husband had a flip phone when we met. He had a flip phone when we got married. And that was the first thing I did when we combined our phone plans. I said, "You are done with a flip phone."
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That is awesome. All right, so tell me this, Tammy, what is yours? What is your number one?
And so the hot topic, of course, right now is the real ID, the real ID. So we have been, since 2019, we've known
Yes.
that we needed a real ID. So that gives you 6 or 7 years to actually get this real ID because you could have gotten it at any time. You didn't have to wait till the very last minute this year to get it. And that's one of the things that drives me insane is that people don't have their real ID yet. And then we're
Okay,
going to, I
but
know,
wait,
wait, wait.
devil's advocate for the state of Oklahoma. Till about 3 or 4 months ago, did you know that the state of Oklahoma required that you make an appointment and we would have to drive hours away from home?
Insane.
We would have to schedule appointments forever out, maybe 3 or 4 weeks from now, and we would have to drive hours to a destination to be able to get our real ID.
That's
So
ridiculous.
I know
I
it
think that's
wasn't
ridiculous. And that's the average person wasn't going to do that.
right, which is exactly why most people just went back to the tag agency and got a regular,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
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 now
tag
the
agency.
airports are
Let's talk about the
suffering.
fact that you call it tag agency.
what is it?
It's
Yeah.
the DMV or the Secretary of State, like
No,
Department of
literally, we
Motor
Our
have
car
Vehicles.
Piedmont
registration
Tag
plate.
Agency. It's like
Is that
Northwest
what they call it in
Agency.
Oklahoma?
Tag Agency, yes. That's where we would
That's
go and get
crazy.
that's where we go to get we register our cars, do everything
Yeah.
at the tag
Ours
agency.
is the
DMV.
DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles.
They're part of the DMV, but it's called Tag Agency.
Oh,
Use
I
your
tell you,
Googler and find that out. We have
yes, we're
tag
gonna
Our
have to
agencies in
Secretary of
Oklahoma.
State office, like we say that too. We go to the
Yeah.
Secretary of State.
DMV or license
But
plate
yes,
plates,
License
not
plates.
tags. Yeah, not
So
tags.
we get our car tags there. We do all
Right.
yeah,
of it.
we
And
do
then we
too.
get our
We
driver's
get our
license
sticker.
and all. It's the
Sure.
tag agency.
DMV.
Hmm. Yeah,
Boy,
it's just
how
funny.
did we get out of
Okay.
that one? That's just crazy. I think we should go back to passports. Let's go back to
Yeah, let's go back to passports. Okay.
what
Let's
was
talk
something
about
The
else we need to worry
the
about on
other
passport?
thing is
Yes.
when you're going and you're leaving the country, make sure your passport doesn't expire 6 months after. Well, Amy actually does a really good job. 6 months valid for 6 months. So, Amy, tell us what that means.
Let's talk about it. All right. So it just means this, that your passport is going to be valid 6 months beyond your return to home date, right? So let's say you're supposed to come home on June 1st. 6 months from there would be July, August, September, October, November, December. December 1st, if it is expires before December 1st, you need a new passport before you leave on your trip. Because if you're going to a foreign country, you will not necessarily be allowed into that country. And Yeah. So
And there's put you back on a plane to the good old United States and not even let you be in. You're the only way you're going to be is in the airport.
there you
So
go.
yeah. So and kids are their passports are only good for what 4 years. So for kids under
For
18.
minors, yeah.
Yeah. So check those two. We almost messed up one time with MJ. So
Oops.
check those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, some people ask though, what's the question? Why would you need to worry about it being effective for 6 months beyond travel? I think Shelley had a good answer for this the other day. So
Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah, any emergency that you have, you get sick, you're in an accident, you're in the hospital, you're under medical care, and then you have an expired passport. How do you get home? How do you work through those legalities of being legal and documented? So it's really important to make sure that you always know that expiration date and that you've taken care of that.
And if we want to look on the bad part of it too, is the country's not going to want somebody in their country that they can't get out. I mean,
Yeah.
and especially if
Yep.
they're doing bad stuff, what I
Right.
mean? It's like,
Yeah.
So you can kick somebody out and they still can get on a plane.
There
And
you go.
and I'm sure in their minds too, is if you're coming to another country and your passport expires, you don't plan on going back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
Interesting.
Agreed. So passports, definitely, I do like the real ID, and the expiration date is important. Make sure you're checking those. But what
Make
about
sure it's
your
not
bank?
damaged.
Oh, tell me about
Make
that.
sure it's
We've
not
got some friends
damaged.
that just had
I
that
mean, I've got a
problem.
friend, they're in line at the airport, waiting to board. It's mom and dad, and they have 10, like they have their kids and significant others, like their kids' significant others with them. There's a group of 10 or 11 of them. Mom and dad's passports had gotten sunscreen on them their previous trip. And the pages where they actually do the stamping, if you're going into a country that still stamps, that's a whole nother topic.
that's a
But
whole nother
those
topic.
pages,
Yeah.
they said were not clear. And the desk agent did not want to allow them to board. Like it took hours, and they were finally able to be. I mean, they darn near missed their flight. But
Sure.
it does say if it is damaged in any way, it's not
You have to get
usable.
a new
But that's
one.
something that people don't think of, because they think, oh, well, it's intact, right? You can see my picture. The cover is still good. It's the whole passport. If any of it is damaged, you've got to you've got to get a new one. So just go buy a passport cover, get on Amazon, order you a fabulous little passport cover, and then you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it.
Do you know what I actually use now? I have an RFID protective sleeve
Oh,
that you can put it in, and then my passport holder
Cover.
too.
Mhm.
So cover, yes, cover.
Nice.
I couldn't think of the English word for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're Gen X's, Gen Xers.
They're
Yeah.
just fleeting you.
All right.
And how many times do we do that a day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. So another big one, and this is something I never really thought about until I went on my very first cruise with my kids years ago, is to make sure you tell your bank what you're doing. Have you ever gone someplace and your card not worked because you forgot to tell somebody you were going out of the country?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I
For
got
sure.
lucky
Yeah.
and my
All
bank was okay with it.
baller.
I knew somebody that worked at the bank that I banked at, and she knew what my plans were. So it all kind of worked out the way it was supposed to. But yeah, it was kind of stressful there for a hot second.
Yeah.
So what happened with you, Shelley? Tell us. We need to.
Oh, we were at Walmart in Orlando.
Okay.
We
Oh,
rented a house for a week, had all the kids, the boys in my family, my husband and his two sons, somehow did not hear my nagging for 3 days prior to leaving about you have to make sure you have your swimsuits. So they go get we buy them swim, we have swim trunks in our cart, all of our groceries, all of our fun stuff for the whole week, right? I go to pay. Declined. How is this declined? I'm like mad, frantic. Like we're in Florida for a week with all of our kids. Like, what in the world is happening? It's a Friday night, 8 o'clock. Bank's not open. What in the world? So we figure out between the two of us, my husband and I both had enough cash between the two of us to be able to pay. I mean, it was $400 some odd. We never carry cash ever.
no.
We happened to have enough cash with us because we got cash before we left. And we're like, all right, we're going to pay for this and then I'll deal with this. So we get out of Walmart. My husband waits till we're out of sight of the cashier. I think he thought I was going to murder him right there. And there would be a witness. Okay. He says, oh, the bank called me a couple hours ago and I didn't answer it. I didn't know why they were calling. It was the fraud hotline calling him and he didn't answer. So they stopped our cards.
Oh my goodness.
I wanted to kill
That's
him. He was right. I was
crazy.
like, I'm gonna just throttle you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yep.
So
So,
I think,
Alan.
yeah, I think right now, I know, either they're going to call you or they're going to text you if something
Yep.
like that. And, you know, and you can get that solved pretty quickly. But I mean, probably when you went, you couldn't solve it pretty quickly. It was not going to be solved pretty quickly. So, yeah, that's funny. Sorry, it wasn't funny, but.
All right,
Oh,
so definitely let
so
your banks
mortified.
know, even if you're not going out of the country, if you're just going on vacation. So
Mhm.
I always had it the rule of thumb, if you're going out of the country, not necessarily on vacation, I've
Right.
never really let anybody know about that whenever we're going on trips, but I will definitely do that in the future.
Yep. Yep.
And my
Alright.
bank
Sure.
doesn't think anything about it now because I travel so often. And
No.
I mean, for me, a lot of places are the same places, you know, that I
Right.
go to. So that helps. But now they're like, okay, so she's gone again.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't had a notification like that for years. And I mean, I hate to say this, but I have not notified my bank. And I haven't had one. It was the last time I had one was when we were in Punta Cana, probably 4 years ago was the last time I
Wow.
had a notification. But they're used to me going, I mean, I've traveled
Yeah.
12 to 15 times a year. So they're
Yeah.
kind of used to it. That's not very good for my
Oh,
fraud
listen
thing.
to you bragging.
They're probably thinking, why are you home? So anytime
Right.
in Ohio,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I
And,
think I should
well,
probably call and find out what's wrong with Tammy.
yeah. And actually the other thing is if I spend a lot of money at Walmart, because I never go to Walmart. I hate Walmart. Oh, not
Oh,
supposed to
yeah.
say a name. Sorry, not supposed to say a name. That big box store. That's a problem. That would be a problem. They'd be notifying me. What's going on with you, Tammy?
Oopsie. All right. So here's my favorite travel tip. Pack light and smart. I did not used to
You
be that
calling
person.
me not smart? I just need to know that.
No.
No.
You just said
No.
pack light and smart.
So what
No,
smart
like-
means is like if you have a pair of pants, multiple shirts go with that pants, that kind of thing. So pack light because the chances are that you're not going to see anybody in the same outfit in multiple days.
Mhm.
And if you're like me, I will wear this sweater multiple times before I actually wash said sweater. So why do I need to take 3 sweaters with me? I'm going to wear the same sweater and the other 2 are going to hang up in the closet.
Mhm.
Because somebody on your Facebook page is going to say, was that the same outfit that you wore yesterday?
I don't
No,
think that's the somebody
No.
I need on my Facebook page then.
No,
If
that's
they're
in my
worried
brain.
about
That's
what
in
I'm
my
wearing on
brain.
my vacation,
I don't think anybody would say that, but that was just what's in my brain.
words, what you're saying is Tammy's watching Shelly and I whenever we're on vacation saying, oh my gosh, I just saw
Yes,
them in the
I got my
same
same
shirt
hoodie.
2 times.
Can't you have a different shirt on? Come on.
oh gosh.
That's
So,
awesome. So if you guys can't tell, Shelly and I are the light packers. Shelly has always been. She's like the OG of light packers. Like she's the one that small things. I am the one that has recently decided because I was suitcase shamed last year by somebody who, whenever we were taking a girls' trip to Florida and I had my big suitcase and they were like, we went to Europe in a backpack and a carry-on. So my goal then, whenever we left to go to Barcelona and then on the transatlantic cruise, I had a backpack and I have a carry-on. That was it. And we have really narrowed it down and we know how to pack very well now. So
I'm just saying, y'all, I don't get that much preparation in my packing. So I'm like, okay, boop, 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 okay. I I can tell you though, they pack light. I can pack my suitcase way quicker than they would ever be able to. Just saying.
Could you just throw stuff in there willy-nilly?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
We're not willy nor nilly. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
not
no.
even close.
No. All
Yeah,
right.
it's gonna be organized.
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
So tell me.
Because then when I get where I'm going, for me to be able to take it out, I want to be able to like do it quickly and systematically, get it done, get out, go explore, get to the Lido deck, whatever it is I'm gonna go do, I gotta get out of there.
I agree. I agree.
Actually, I have to say something with that too, because it is so funny. I've talked about this, is that over the weekend, I don't take everything out of my suitcase. I just don't.
Unpack when you get places?
I don't unpack.
Ever?
Unless it's a dress that I need to have completely ironed. Most of my clothes are not wrinkly, and I just don't unpack. Look at them. They're almost like they're speechless.
For you guys for you all that are listening versus seeing us, that's just absolutely insane to our membranes. Like
yes,
we got
their brains are like
here.
Usually
No,
my brain explodes.
we immediately, the very first thing we do when we get to our hotel or our cruise ship, either one, unless it's just an overnight stay, we unpack everything and have it in the closets, in the drawers, out where we need to have it. And it's like our home away from home.
You just trip over your suitcase for the whole week?
No, I put it in a corner.
But you have to unzip it all the time and get your stuff
She
out.
leaves it open.
I leave it open.
Oh my word.
See? I'm giving them like an aneurysm or something here.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it was so funny is that I actually, the friend that came from California and then my BFF, there's so much alike when it comes to that. And you guys are too. And it's so funny that I kind of gravitate towards you guys type of person, because it's a little bit of, organization in my chaotic life. So that's what it is. So yeah, they are the exact same thing. They have to come in. The first thing that they do, just like Shelly, they unpack everything. They put stuff in the bathroom. They, everything's perfect. And Amy is a lot like that too. And Amy, you didn't notice that when we were sharing a hotel room together?
I don't think I really noticed it.
No. See,
I should have noticed
nobody noticed it because I put it in.
But it was only like 2 nights, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, because that 2 nights I probably wasn't going to unpack anyway. That'd be one of those.
I'm still baffled, and I wish people could see my face that are listening.
I know,
to us.
I know. The one thing I do is when we've been on the cruise, when I've been on a cruise, is that I have unpacked there, because you just don't have room for a suitcase
are small,
hanging out somewhere. So I did unpack there. Yeah, but
slid it under your bed and pulled it out every morning and back and.
Yeah. No, that would have been too much.
All right. Okay. So that luggage that you pack really quickly and you leave packed the entire time, do you have a luggage weight that you actually weigh it before you?
Yeah, mine's called David Stoll.
Oh, so he weighs it for you before you go.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Mine is called Andrew. Mine's called Andrew. He actually weighs ours.
My husband actually will lift it up and he will say, oh, that's like today. He knows. Just like today, when we were putting our friend on the airplane, he picked up her bag and he's like, oh, that weighs like 56 pounds. Sure enough, it weighed 57 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
I'm like, he is that accurate when it comes to that. He really is, because he's used to it.
Not everybody has a David.
Yes.
So what I highly encourage you to do is get one of those weights that you can take with you and you're able to use whenever you're at home. If you're checking a bag, if it's a carry-on, you're not necessarily going to have to worry about it. But if you got to check it, you definitely need to have one of those scales that you can hold. It's really kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it is. Do that. Don't. And the worst thing is, because I actually had to do this once because Dave Stahl wasn't with me, is that I had to unpack stuff and put it in the other suitcase, because it's like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. Can't do this. Can't do this. Can't do this anymore. So yeah.
The last week when I flew out here, 5 a.m. I'm at the airport waiting and waiting and waiting. And of course, our little regional airport doesn't have kiosks, so I have to go to the gate,
Ticket
to the
counter.
desk, and I'm waiting. And there are two gentlemen in front of me, and they have 5 large silver bags, like 5 bags, all the same. I'm thinking, oh, they must be on a mission trip, a humanitarian trip, like a medical trip, something like that, right? Because they have all 5 of these bags exactly the same, and they're flying. Took forever. Finally, another desk agent comes out to help the rest of us because now we have a long line formed. So we get through, and they happen to be on my first flight to O'Hare. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to ask them because they're right behind me as we go on the plane. So I said, what's the deal? What's with all the luggage? Where are you guys headed? Oh, we're moving to Palm Springs. Oh, okay. Wow, you guys are moving a lot of stuff. Like, did you have movers, or did you just leave everything here and you're just like taking what you could put in your suitcases and go? He's like, oh no, the movers have moved everything. Okay, you had 5 bags. Oh yeah, that was our wine selection that we didn't trust them with. They had to open their bags. 2 of the suitcases were overweight. They had all of their bags open, trying to reweigh and reposition this wine that they didn't trust anybody else with.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Can I tell you, I
would
looked at
rather-
them like I just looked at you. Like,
I would rather trust the movers than an airline employee shoving the bags in the airplane.
I don't understand. It was all shrink wrapped and bubble wrapped and like all this
They could have
stuff.
done the exact same thing for the moving company. Oh my gosh.
Half an hour, those 2 men stood there
Oh yeah.
redoing their suitcases.
Oh my.
Yes.
Oh my. The things you learn
Don't
at
do
the
it.
airport. I'm telling you.
Weigh them at home. Don't do that.
Yes.
Nope. All right. So travel tips. Another one that I totally embrace whenever I get on a plane is keeping the essentials in your carry-on. I
Yes.
had a horrible mishap whenever I left Oklahoma City heading to Portland, Maine on a business trip years and years ago. We had a layover in Detroit. My bag stayed there because it needed to visit for a while. We ended up in Portland. We had by way of flying into Bangor, having to take a bus down to Portland because the airport was closed, all kinds of stuff. Everything that I needed or owned was in that carry-on. I just had my purse. So I didn't have any change of clothes. I didn't have anything, like nothing. I literally had not one thing that I needed. So always have at least a change of clothes. Make sure you have your chargers, all those important things, medication, anything like that. Make sure you have that on the plane with you in your possession, carry on, personal item, whatever, so that if your luggage doesn't make it. I did have a friend that actually made it to a cruise without one piece of luggage. The
Youch.
luggage didn't make it on the transfer to the airport,
Oh no.
and she went ahead and got on the cruise ship. And the cruise ship was so nice, they let her buy clothes in their shops, and she had a cover up for every day. And she the only thing she had in her carry-on that she took with her was her bathing suits. She had 2 of them, so she switched back and forth bathing suits, and then she got flip-flops from the thing, so she had flip-flops and cover-ups that she wore every day of the cruise. 7-day cruise. She went to formal night, everything. It was hysterical.
That would be awful.
Oh
Like,
my
I'm
goodness.
laughing because I wouldn't know what else to do. That would be so horrible,
No,
though.
Yeah, so she bought the
Oh.
stuff, they didn't give it to her for free, right?
No,
The
well, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you that she bought it or didn't. I think she bought it because she had travel insurance through
Yeah.
something else, not the
Right.
cruise line.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well,
she was smart.
you just
Because
make
you
the best
do
of it.
want to have your swimsuit in your carry-on, especially if you're doing a resort, because you never know. Like if if I don't know, you decide you want to go straight to lunch and straight to the pool, or your room isn't ready. Like you always have your swimsuit
Yep.
in your carry-on. Always.
And you know,
Imagine if she hadn't had that. She just had, I don't know, shoes.
yeah,
Shoes.
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 So yeah, that is, an airline employee, here I am, doing that airline employee thing, but you always have a extra pair of shoes, pants, shorts, whatever. You have one outfit to wear. You have your bathing suit and you have your cosmetics or whatever, and your medication.
Or you just pack light and smart and you carry on
No.
and you have a personal item.
You
Done.
can't do that when you're on a cruise and you have formal night.
Yeah, you can.
Get
I was on a
different cruise.
2-week cruise with a
I know, I
backpack.
was being silly. I
Go
can't
on a
do
different
that.
cruise.
I can't do that.
All right. So do you guys have reusable bottles that you use whenever you
I-
fly or travel?
Yeah, I
So
know
Shelley is
Shelley, and
showing
I know
us
Amy
a reusable
does.
bottle. So what do
Yeah,
you?
Amy, you do too, right? Yeah,
I do. So I have an actual collapsible one, and
yeah,
then I have a
Mm.
big ginormous 40 ounce that I
Mhm.
take with me.
yeah.
But it's because I like real water. Tammy, on the other hand, likes bougie water. She has to have
Yeah.
Bougie.
Perrier
Does she
water.
even drink regular water? Like, does she even drink common people water like us? Like, I don't think that she does.
When she came to my
Hard-
house, she did. She didn't have a
Hardly
choice.
ever, but yes, I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
ever.
that's only because you did not have grocery delivery, Amy.
Nope.
Actually,
Nope.
you know what? I didn't even think about having Instacart delivered. Do you have Instacart?
No.
And oh,
I
well,
don't
that's
either.
why.
No.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
You
have been
don't
able to
either,
do it.
Shelley? Oh my gosh,
Nope.
that's a whole
We don't
nother-
have Instacart. We don't have DoorDash. We don't have Uber Eats. We don't
Yeah.
none of that.
Well,
We do have
yeah.
DoorDash. We can get DoorDash here, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
No,
How
and
about a portable charger or a power bank?
oh gosh, yes.
Both.
Yes, I always
Both.
have
Yes
power
to
banks
both
with
of
me
those.
And your carry-on. Do not put
And
it
my
anywhere
carry-on.
else. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. Actually it's in my purse. It's not even in my carry-on. I just have it there. That's what I make sure you have one.
And that's an FAA thing. You can't have lithium batteries. You shouldn't have lithium batteries. Well, if they're on specifically in your, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So do you guys learn basic phrases whenever you go places?
Like
So I always,
Banyo?
yeah, exactly. I always know what the bathrooms and wherever I'm going because that's very important.
It is very important, but I also found out that in Spain it's different than
It's toilet.
Spanish. Yes. So you
Yes,
always
they
have to
don't say
remember, you
they'll
have to
have
really
it'll yeah,
make
it'll
sure
say
that you pay
banyo.
attention because, and I will tell you, so I was really stressed out and freaked out about the whole the language barrier, like what's going to happen when we get to Spain. I just had heard so many people that you
Yeah.
need to know Spanish, you need to know Spain Spanish, and we got there and so we got the translating earbuds and all the different
Mhm.
things, and one of our party actually had a translator on the phone and all the different, not one of a time did we ever need to use it ever.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
But
I never used it there.
that was
Mm-mm.
whenever I did find out that baño and toilet were two different things. So
Yes.
Wow.
same thing,
Yeah,
two different
but
words.
their signs will
Right.
say banyo, but they say toilet. You ask them for banyo and they're
Toilet,
like
right?
toilet. They want
Ours,
the toilet.
I never saw baño anywhere.
Oh,
when we were
really?
in Spain.
Okay.
No. No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny that you pulled that out because that was one of the things that I came home thinking when I was in Spain. Like, it's not a baño, it's a toilet.
It's a toilet. That
Yeah.
has to be the European type thing, right?
Yeah.
I would guess. Yeah.
I mean,
So another
toilet,
travel
isn't it
tip,
front?
whenever you're going across the pond, make sure whenever you wake up for breakfast that you wake up and get completely ready from head to toe. Don't walk down like Americans whenever we go to a hotel, right?
We walk down out of our pajamas.
We're
Mhm.
still in PJs or a t-shirt and some shorts or something. Not me. I know Tammy will joke about me. She actually asked this question of me when we went together to the lake one time. Do you wear your makeup every day? Do you have
Yeah,
to
I
have
did.
like, yes, I have my makeup on before I leave my room. So sorry. But so I was okay, but my husband, on the other hand, had his basketball shorts and threw on a pair of t-shirts. And it was a nice shirt and flip-flops and went down to breakfast. And he said, as soon as I got there, I realized my error in my ways. So
Oh, yeah.
he got dressed from head to toe. He was ready. He took the shower, did everything before he went down to breakfast. So that's
Yeah.
another huge travel tip whenever you go across
Mhm.
and you're,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So unless I'm like at the lake, Amy, I will,
The lake.
before I go to breakfast at a hotel, is that I will get completely ready. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's for
So
sure.
another big thing that we do, so talking about like think about money. So whenever we talked about banks, you let your banks know. Do you guys use RFID protectors on your stuff whenever you travel overseas?
My wallet has it in it, like, and then I actually have, this, and I don't think it is
Oh gotcha.
RF. Yeah.
She's showing you
But
the back of her cell phone.
oh yeah, I
So that's
suppose
what
that's
you
what we have, voice podcasts. Yeah, at the back of my cell phone where it has a little wallet, put your credit cards in.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Shelley? Do you use RFID?
No, because most of the time when we travel internationally, I don't carry a wallet. So I have a money belt that I use underneath so I put it, underneath of my pants.
Uh-huh.
And so I only take like I'll have my passport copy. Typically I'll leave my passport in the safe. I guess it depends on where we're at. So I may have my passport with me, but it's in there. My ID will be in there, like my regular government ID, and then just whatever cards I think I might use or might need. And it's all underneath my pants, and it's all like nice and secure. And I just reach in and pull out exactly what I need if I need it.
That's
So
pretty
I've
similar
never
to
done
what
the
we did.
RFID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every three of us, the two husbands and myself, all had the money belts that went underneath.
Yeah.
I was the one that carried, I don't know why. I carried almost everything, I think. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So,
Because what did we say you were? The just in case queen. That's why.
yes, that's just
That's
in
why
case.
you
Yeah,
carried
See,
it.
that's the funny thing is that you guys, or Amy packs light, but she's the just in case queen. Gotta have it, gotta have this, gotta have this. But you probably use travel sizes of everything, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
That makes
I do.
sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Shelley did say something. So do you guys feel safe using the safe inside your rooms whenever you're traveling?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's get
I
that.
do.
Yep. And I put, you know, valuables or whatever in there to make sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And here's another one, travel insurance. We kind of mentioned that before.
Uh,
Absolutely necessary.
so I don't normally
Absolutely.
watch the news, but the other day we had the news on and there was a news what program and they were
Mhm.
talking about get that travel insurance. And it was like it's a thing. Everybody's doing it now. It's like, yeah, people, you need travel insurance because you don't know what's going to happen. For emergencies, for one thing, that you're somewhere and you need to come home or whatever, or for whatever reason, you have to cancel your flight or cancel
Right.
your reservations and
Or
stuff.
how about
So,
this? If you're traveling with kids, I had a friend that actually took her kids on a cruise, and day one, everything was fine. Day two, her son started feeling bad, had to go see the ship doctor, and
oh,
you have to pay before you get off the ship. And her son had strep. So he not
oh
only did
no.
he was he sick, he had to have antibiotics and he had all of these things. So she was able to then file a claim and get the money back.
Mhm.
And had she not
Yeah.
have insurance, she would have had to pay that out of pocket trying to, yeah, that would have been crazy.
And
Oh,
there's,
that would have
there's
been fun.
countries out there that they don't let you leave. If you get sick or get injured and you have to seek medical care, they'll like hold your passport until they know that they're going to get paid. And if you have that travel insurance, they have a guaranteed way of getting paid. Like yeah.
That's a huge thing too. Yeah, for sure. I actually had a friend that happened to, and they threatened to not let her come home.
Hmm.
And her family had to save up money, and I think it was like $1,500 and get it sent over. And to some people, that would have been impossible. There would have been
Right.
absolutely
Impossible.
no way for that to
Right.
Yeah.
happen. So,
They spent that on their vacation that they saved for 2-3 years. Like yeah,
yeah. So
it's a
here's
big
another
deal.
thing. So leave room in your suitcase. And I think this should be our last one because I have an awesome story about leave room in your suitcase. Okay. Tammy, do you leave room in your suitcase for souvenirs and
No.
such, for
I
buying
bring
extra
him.
stuff?
I bring another bag.
Do you?
like a smaller bag. Yeah, but I don't leave room in my suitcase.
Okay. How about you, Shelley? Do you leave room?
Always.
Always, always. I do
am
now.
I'm that weird souvenir queen. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do now make sure I leave room. And remember, packing in a carry-on and a backpack, I leave room for souvenirs and such. The year Andrew and I went to Hawaii, it was right after COVID hit, and we were able to, like, the very first week that you were able to travel to Hawaii when they opened back up. We go to Hawaii. We get there and we're buying all kinds of stuff because we are living in heaven. This is just great. We love the fact that we're there. We bought all kinds of souvenirs. We were crazy. We went thrifting at the thrift stores and everything. Like, we did all kinds of stuff and we found all kinds of goodies. Well, guess what we had to buy at the thrift store because
Suitcase. Yeah.
we found
Yes.
a Samsonite suitcase, full size. Like, that's how bad it was. That's how much stuff we bought. Full size travel, like, you had to check bag suitcase for $19 at the thrift store. We just
that was
donated
actually a
that
good
back.
deal.
We just donated that back to a thrift
To
store.
it. Yeah. Thrift store. Oh my
that's
goodness.
awesome.
That is.
We had to buy
That's
two when
actually.
we were in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you really? Oh
That
yeah.
was my trip that taught me. I was like, oh, okay, not doing this again. Yeah,
Oh,
we had to
no.
buy 2 full suitcases.
Yeah. So before we would just buy a bag, to check it, whatever, or, or, carry. But yeah, I now pack a bag, an extra bag.
That's
But I'm
smart.
not a big souvenir person. I don't, that's not what I do.
Yeah.
So I get my photos. That's what I get.
I don't buy a lot of souvenirs anymore. So, like, when we were in Spain and all the
Mhm.
things, we did magnets.
Yeah.
A lot of those because you can get those pretty small.
Yeah.
And we bought different things that we were able to take onto the ship
Hmm.
that didn't last because
Yeah.
they're edible
Yeah.
and drinkable. So,
I mean, when we went to Fiji, that's what we bought, was magnets. And I think we bought a hat. And that was it.
yeah,
Yeah.
little things. Little things.
Yeah.
All right. So, those are our travel tips. Those are the big things that we think we should share with you, and we did. We hopefully you
Yes.
got some great information. But if you for some reason have some great travel tips that you think we should be listening to, definitely share those with us. Let us know what your favorite travel tip is. And then, you know what? If you want to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to continue following us, the Globetrotting Trios. So I want to say this. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being here with this episode of our wild and crazy journey. We are the Globetrotting Trios. I am Amy.
I'm Shelley.
I'm Tammy.
Have a great night, guys. Talk to you
Bye,
later.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.